happens when one of the most advanced artificial intelligence companies in the world gets labeled a national security risk by the military, but the rest of the government still wants to use their tech? That is the bizarre situation Anthropic is navigating right now as their relationship with the Trump administration seemingly begins to thaw. Despite recently being designated a supply chain risk by the Pentagon, Anthropic is still sitting down and talking to very high-level members of the administration. There were early whispers that not everyone in the government agreed with the Pentagon's harsh stance. Reports started surfacing that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell were actually encouraging the heads of major banks to test out Anthropic's brand new Mythos model. That is a massive endorsement from top financial regulators. Anthropic co-founder Jack Clark poured some cold water on the panic by claiming the whole Pentagon issue is really just a narrow contracting dispute and that it absolutely would not stop the company from briefing the government about their latest advancements. Then things took a very official turn when Axios reported that Scott Bessent and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles actually met face-to-face with Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei. The White House put out a statement calling it an introductory meeting that was both productive and constructive. They talked about opportunities for collaboration and shared approaches to handle the massive challenges that come with scaling this kind of powerful technology. Anthropic echoed that sentiment, confirming they had a productive discussion on key priorities like cybersecurity, maintaining America's lead in the global AI race, and ensuring overall AI safety. So how did they end up on the Pentagon's bad side in the first place? The whole dispute blew up after some very tense negotiations over how the military could use Anthropic models. Anthropic stood its ground and wanted to maintain strict safeguards, specifically to prevent their tech from being used for fully autonomous weapons and mass domestic surveillance. The military apparently did not like those restrictions and the talks collapsed. Meanwhile, their biggest rival OpenAI quickly swooped in and announced a military deal of their own, which naturally caused some major consumer backlash. After the deal fell through, the Pentagon slapped Anthropic with that supply chain risk label, which is a drastic move usually reserved for foreign adversaries. It could severely cripple Anthropic's ability to work with the government. The company is actively fighting that designation in court right now. But the fascinating part is that the rest of the Trump administration clearly does not share the Pentagon's hostility. According to sources, every single agency except the Department of Defense is eager to get their hands on Anthropic's technology. This highlights a massive internal struggle within the government regarding how to balance ethical AI development with sheer military dominance. Do we strictly regulate the technology to prevent dystopian scenarios, or do we unleash it completely to maintain global superiority? Anthropic is caught right in the middle of this philosophical war, and how this plays out will likely set the precedent for government contracts for decades to come.